Hello guys and welcome to volokinproject. It's Tony here, your favorite YouTuber. The lighting conditions might not be perfect, but I'm trying to squeeze every single bit of sunshine I can from the cold British summer this year. Anyways, in today's video I'm going to talk about an end of an era, the Motorola Z3 Play, the last device sold officially in the UK supporting the famous Moto Mods. I've got a full unboxing over here. If you're interested, check it out on my video. But today, specifically, before I start, this video about the review of this device, kind of 2 years later, because it was released in summer 2018. Let me know in the description down below what is your personal experience with this phone. Did you like it? How long did you use it for? I'm very keen on hearing stories about phones that I'm featuring on my channel. So in summer 2018, Motorola released the third iteration of the Moto Mods phones, supporting this project that was a derivative of the Project Ara that Motorola started even before Lenovo bought them. And in the UK, as I said, that was the last phone supporting the Moto Mods, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit later on in this video briefly. So what was the deal? In summer 2018, Motorola decided, or Lenovo decided, to charge £400 for this phone. It had a 1080p screen, Snapdragon 636, pretty much mid-range specifications, and of course nobody bought it. I waited until the last minute. It was heavily discounted, including the JBL sound mount, which I absolutely love, guys. They discounted it to like £240, 250 with the mod, which was an amazing value for money. The problem is that last year in 2020 July, the software updates just suddenly stopped and the phone never really got Android 10, which is an absolute shame because devices like the Motorola One, which were kind of half the price actually, already got security patch of January 2021 and Android 10 on board. Probably is gonna get updated to Android 11, so Motorola decided to ditch this phone and move on to the Motorola One series, and now recently to the Motorola Edge series. Needless to say, none of them are particularly successful because Xiaomi are pushing way too hard, along with Oppo and Realme. Pretty much the mid-range, low-range to mid-range segment is really not the same anymore. So Motorola couldn't really get away with charging £400 for this phone, simply because the design is absolutely amazing, guys. I really love the design. We've got a 6-inch screen over here, AMOLED one, which at first looks fine unless you notice an absolutely terrible screen irritation issues, guys, and that's from day one. This image that you see over here, this circle, when I unlock the phone, you still be able to see that circle in a dark environment over here, which is absolutely ridiculous, guys. Over time you're gonna get like a screen burn effects, which is going to affect pretty much your experience. The other thing is that the power button is on the wrong side over here. On the left, the fingerprint reader is on the side. It's really nice and responsive, but for whatever reason, it's not like the Xperia fingerprint readers. You cannot actually press it, therefore you cannot unlock the phone with it, which is a bummer. Pretty much otherwise, I absolutely love the design. 3.5mm jack is nowhere to be found. You've got a 3.5mm dongle actually, which absolutely sucks compared to all other dongles, and the output is really not good. You've got no equalizer options. The speaker over here on top is okay, at least is kind of front-facing speaker one, which is fine, but it's kind of average, nothing special, to be honest with you. Snapdragon 636, it's low-range CPU. Gaming is really bad on this phone, guys, and forget about playing Call of Duty in it. It's possible on the lowest settings, but you really don't wanna do that actually. And otherwise, the software is a typical, Motorola software, pretty much stock Android experience, no bloatware, everything is nice, apart from the navigation pill over here. It supports a really weird gestures, that's why Android 10 would be perfect to have, a full screen, proper gestures like any other phone, as well as no dark mode, which feels extremely outdated pretty much. So those two things are my only gripes with the software, otherwise it works perfectly fine. Now, before I move to the battery life and the Moto Mods, which are the most interesting part, I'm gonna touch up on the camera very briefly. At the front, 8 megapixel unit, really terrible camera, unfortunately, guys. You've got manual mode for whatever reason, which doesn't help at all. The maximum video resolution is 1080p without stabilization. At the back, the situation is not very good. You've got a main 12 megapixel camera, which is not very good, unfortunately. You've got 4K, no stabilization. In 1080p, you've got stabilization, but it's really not that great. And you've got a secondary 5 megapixel depth sensor that they actually removed in the Motorola Z4 released in the US because it's absolutely useless. It's just for aesthetics, pretty much. Dual tone flash, and pretty much that's it. I mean, camera wise, it's really a disappointment, guys. And now let's move on to the Moto Mods briefly, and the battery mode, of course. Now, the Moto Mods, the JBL Sound Boost mode, that's the second iteration, absolutely marvelous Moto mod. The only thing is that it doesn't really have its own, battery inside, so naturally it's going to drain the battery quickly. The Motorola gamepad, first of all, it's uncomfortable. Second of all, it was kind of expensive at launch. And third of all, you cannot map the buttons. That's all I'm gonna say. There is a third-party Panda or software or something like that. I think it was the Panda whatever app. Google it. Then which is a paid app which allows you to map the buttons, but out of the box you can't really map the buttons. Avoid like a plague. And the other one is the built-in battery mode that you slap on the phone like that, guys. Now it comes for free in the box, but unfortunately it gives you about 55% of battery. But the thing is, the battery itself is just 3000 milliamp hours inside this phone. It recharges for about 1.5 hours. If you put the mode in, you bump the recharge times to 3.5 hours, guys. And the mode itself gives you only 55% of battery, which absolutely defeats the purpose, of using this mode if it's gonna take another 2 hours to charge. And the thing is that battery life, 3000 milliamp hours only. The design is very slim and nice of the phone. When you put the battery mode, it absolutely destroys the looks of the phone. Gives you 5 hours of screen on time. With the mode, you're getting 8 hours of screen on time, which, 5 hours is not enough, 8 hours is more than enough, it's okay, but you completely ruin the look. So the battery mode for this particular device is kind of useless. Of course, there are many other modes available. For example, the half-baked Hasselblad mode with the optical zoom that I recently reviewed on my channel as well. You've got the Motorola projector and a few modes that never really saw the light of day. So actually the only useful mode is the JBL Sound Boost mode over here. If you're buying this for a kid, he's going to enjoy playing music with his friends outside. If you're a grown-up adult, I don't see many applications apart from your car stereo just broke and you need some music on the go, or you're fixing your car and you need some music, then yeah, the Sound Boost is fine. But rather than that, most of the time you're going to, rock this phone naked like that, guys. So yeah, before I conclude this video, let's have a look at my Volokin Spectrum score, where I rated over 100 phones on my channel, 10 different categories, points from 0 to 6. So let's start with design and build quality. I'm gonna give the Motorola Z3 Play 4 out of 5, simply because, the power button is on the wrong side. Other than that, the design is actually quite nice. Security wise, reliable fingerprint reader, physical one, and as well as good face unlock, so 4 out of 5 as well. The battery life with the battery mode gets 4 out of 5 as well. The screen gets 3 out of 5, the speaker gets 3 out of 5, the lack of 3.5mm jack gets again 3 out of 5. The software 4 out of 5, guys. The performance just 2 out of 5, front camera 2 out of 5, and back camera again 2 out of 5. So how much is the overall Volokin Spectrum score? It's 31 out of 60, which places the phone at the 72nd place on my chart, which is far behind quite a lot of phones, guys. So honestly, would I recommend getting the Z3 Play? No. Even if you manage to find one, on eBay for about £100, of course, without the mods, it's not a good phone, guys. There are plenty of other newer and better phones with better battery life, pretty much, which I'm going to feature on my channel really soon, that you should be looking into. So if you're looking to buy a cheap Motorola phone, the Motorola Z3 Play is not it, simply because of the screen retention issues. This is my main concern about this phone. Rather than that, you know, cool looks, but that doesn't compensate for lack of the, you know, the proper cameras and this and that and this and that. I can hear the baby crying in the other room, so hopefully he's all right. Of course, my wife is taking care of it, so I'm gonna go and have a look, which reminds me to finish that video. Thank you very much for watching and subscribing, guys. There's one more Motorola phone coming down real soon, the Motorola one, which actually surprised me quite pleasantly, unlike this one. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Adios.